Picture this. It is the final minute of a World Cup match. The score is tied, the crowd is silent, and a player breaks through what looks like an offside trap. In half a second, the entire outcome of the game will be decided, but not by a human eye this time. Somewhere inside a control room, a machine is already calculating the answer. It does not blink, it does not hesitate, and it does not care which team is favored by millions of fans. This is not science fiction anymore. This is exactly what is already happening at the FIFA World Cup 2026. And the question everyone in football is now quietly asking is simple. Will robots eventually replace the referee completely? Before we go further, I want you to stay with me until the very end of this video. We are about to break down exactly how close football already is to robot officiating and where the line is still being drawn. If you care about the future of sport and technology, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel is built exactly for conversations like this one. Future Tech Insight exists to help you understand the technology shaping tomorrow, before everyone else is talking about it. Let's start with what is real right now in stadiums across the United States, Mexico, and Canada. FIFA has introduced what it calls a semi-automated offside system, and it is already changing how matches are judged. Instead of relying purely on a linesman's eyes, cameras positioned around every stadium track the exact position of every player on the pitch. At the same time, a tiny sensor hidden inside the official match ball records data 500 times every single second. This ball is called the Trionda, and it is unlike any football used before it. Inside its surface sits a small motion sensor, an inertial measurement unit that tracks acceleration, spin, and the precise moment a player's foot makes contact. That single moment, the kick point, used to be one of the hardest things for any referee to judge with the naked eye. Now the ball itself tells the system exactly when it happened, down to a fraction of a second. When the ball's sensor data is combined with the camera tracking of every player's body position, an artificial intelligence system instantly checks for offside. It does this faster than any assistant referee ever could, and crucially, it removes much of the guesswork that has caused so many controversial decisions in the past. This is why people are calling this World Cup the most heavily monitored tournament in football history. Sensors, cameras, and artificial intelligence are no longer optional extras. They have become part of how the game itself is played. FIFA has gone even further by partnering with technology company Lenovo to build something most fans have never seen before. Every player at this World Cup has been digitally scanned to create a highly detailed, three-dimensional avatar of their body. These avatars are used to recreate contested moments on screen, showing fans and officials a clear, almost lifelike replay of exactly what happened. It is no longer just about making the right call, it is about being able to show, visually, why that call was correct. At this point, you might be thinking, this already sounds like a robot referee. But here is the important detail that almost nobody talks about. Every single one of these systems still ends with a human making the final decision. The technology flags the offside, suggests the call, and shows the evidence. But a person on the pitch, or in a video review room, still has to blow the whistle. That word, semi-automated, is doing a lot of quiet work in this conversation. None of this appeared overnight. The earliest version of this connected ball technology was first tested publicly during the Qatar World Cup, and it has been refined through tournaments like the Women's World Cup and the Club World Cup ever since. Each tournament added a little more precision, a little more speed, and a little more trust from referees who were initially skeptical of letting a machine influence their decisions. By the time the ball reached this World Cup, the system had quietly been tested for years before most fans even noticed it existed. Football is actually one of the last major sports to adopt this level of automated officiating support. Tennis has used ball tracking technology for line calls for nearly 2 decades, and cricket has relied on review systems combining cameras and predictive tracking for almost as long. Both of those sports still keep a human umpire involved in the final decision, even when the technology gives an extremely confident answer. Football's approach with semi-automated offside is simply catching up to a pattern that other major sports already settled on years ago. So the real question is not whether artificial intelligence belongs in football anymore. That debate is already over. The real question is how much further this technology will go and whether a fully automated robot referee could one day replace humans entirely. There are strong arguments in favor of that future. A machine never gets tired in the final minutes of a match. It never feels pressure from a roaring crowd, and it never misses a call simply because it could not see the ball clearly enough. Consistency is the biggest selling point for a fully automated system. Every decision would be based on the exact same rules, applied in the exact same way in every single match around the world. There would be far fewer accusations of bias toward a bigger club, a star player, or a host nation. For a sport that generates billions of dollars and inspires this much emotion, that kind of fairness is incredibly tempting. Video assistant referee technology, known as VAR, was supposed to solve exactly this problem when it was introduced a few years ago, and in many ways it did. But VAR also created a new kind of controversy, with fans complaining about long delays, inconsistent interpretation between different referees, and decisions that still felt subjective even with replay evidence available. This is exactly the gap that the new sensor ball and AI tracking system is trying to close by removing human interpretation from the most objective part of the decision, the exact timing and positioning. Whether it succeeds completely or simply shifts the controversy onto a new piece of technology is something this World Cup will help answer. But football has never just been about getting calls technically correct. Part of what makes the sport beautiful is its unpredictability, including the very human drama of a referee making a difficult judgment call under pressure. Some of the most talked about moments in football history exist because a human official had to make an instant decision with incomplete information. If you remove that human element completely, some fans worry you remove a small piece of what makes the sport feel alive. There is also a more practical problem. Football is full of decisions that require understanding context, not just data, such as judging intent behind a tackle or deciding whether contact was accidental or deliberate. Cameras and sensors are extremely good at measuring position, speed, and timing with total precision. They are far less good at understanding the kind of human intention that often decides whether a foul deserves a yellow card, a red card, or no card at all. There is also the question of what happens to the people who have spent their entire careers training to officiate at the highest level. Thousands of referees around the world rely on this profession, and full automation could eventually shrink that career path significantly. Even at this World Cup, human referees are still wearing body cameras and still making every final call on the pitch. Technology, at least for now, is positioned as their assistant rather than their replacement. Some technology companies are already experimenting with even more ambitious ideas, including autonomous tracking systems and machine learning models trained on thousands of hours of match footage to analyze fouls in real time. These systems are still experimental, and none of them have been trusted with full authority during an official competitive match. But the pace of improvement over just the last few years suggests these experiments will not stay experimental for very long. So where is this actually heading? Most experts inside FIFA's own innovation team describe the goal as augmented officiating, not robotic replacement, meaning artificial intelligence supports the referee instead of removing them. It is extremely likely that within the next decade, every major league in the world will use some version of ball sensors, player tracking cameras, and instant AI analysis during every single match. What is far less certain is whether fans, players, and football's own culture will ever fully accept a world where no human stands on the pitch, making the final call. Maybe the real answer is that football does not need a fully robotic referee to feel like the future has already arrived. The future might simply look like what we are watching right now: smarter sensors, sharper cameras, and artificial intelligence quietly working in the background to make the human referee's job easier and fairer. The robot referee debate might not end with robots taking over completely. It might end with humans and machines sharing the whistle, each doing the part they do best. That is the real story behind the question. Will robots become football's future? The technology is already further along than most fans realize, but the final whistle, for now, still belongs to a human being. If this kind of breakdown helped you understand where sports technology is actually heading, make sure you are subscribed to Future Tech Insight so you do not miss what comes next. We break down the technology shaping our future, one story at a time, and there is a lot more coming. Drop a comment below and tell me what you think. Should football ever fully hand decisions over to artificial intelligence, or should a human always make the final call? I read every single comment, and some of the best video ideas on this channel have come directly from this community. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. That genuinely means a lot. I will see you in the next video.